This morning, we are moving into a deeper conversation with the sacred yes as our topic. And as Karen said so beautifully, our book is like snuggling up with God. And so our topic for this morning is faith. Faith is a profound way of saying yes to the universe. It's one of the ways in which we demonstrate our yes. And rather than standing up here and parsing what actually do we mean by faith or how do we define it, rather than exhorting us to have more faith or scolding myself for not always acting in faith, I thought that today what we would do is we would experience the place from which faith grows. Because faith is actually a verb. It's a way of being in the world. And faith comes from a place that we stand in. And so we're going to go into an extended meditation. Some of you are very comfortable with that, and you may choose to keep your eyes closed the entire time. Some of you may not be comfortable with an extended meditation. So along the way, I will be putting the quotes on that I'm speaking. They'll be on the PowerPoint. And between the quotes, there'll be a beautiful image that perhaps reflects an idea that's in the quote. And you're welcome to gaze on that if that allows you to be more present to yourself. Or you can switch between the two as that serves you. But today we're going to move into an experience that I just invite you to allow it to take you deeper. And so if you would settle in and settle back and take a breath, we just begin with the realization that something is always, forever, calling us deeper.
Something's calling me. Something's calling me. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Feel like I'm walking on marbles. I can't still the earth beneath my feet. Got my head in the clouds, my naked legs left dangling. I can feel my heart begin to pound. Everybody say, something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Love is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Compassion's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Peace is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. My faith keeps calling me, and I'm grateful like I've never been before.
Take a breath. Allow the breath to take you within as it answers that longing that we have. The longing to know and know that we know. The longing to bask in the presence. The longing to answer the call. David White writes this: I want to write about faith, about the way the moon rises over cold snow night after night, faithful even as it fades from fullness, slowly becoming that last curving and impossible sliver of light before the final darkness. But I have no faith myself. I refuse it even the smallest entry. Let this then, my small poem, like a new moon, slender and barely open, be the first prayer that opens me to faith. And so it is our prayer this morning to open. To open that doorway into the truth that allows us to have faith, to act on faith, to live in and from our faith. And so as we move through this time this morning, I will be sharing thoughts, and I invite you to let them roll around in your consciousness, in your heart, in your soul. Let them take you deeper. And so we begin our journey of faith. I am guided by the same intelligence and inspired by the same imagination, which scatters the moonbeams across the waves and holds the forces of nature in its grasp. Let us just breathe that in. I am guided by the same intelligence and inspired by the same imagination, which scatters the moonbeams across the waves and holds the forces of nature in its grasp. Take a breath. As we sit and allow this truth to reverberate. Is the recognition that we are guided by this life, and that this life actually exists, this infinite love and power and presence that allows us to say yes. We ask the question, what is this life we say yes to? It is the love of the universe and its creative law. As we sung this morning, the power and the presence. The presence that lifts us, loves us, moves as us, enfolds us all of the time. The presence that is as close as the breath, as sure as the heartbeat, and it is that hand we hold as we walk through the darkness. And it is that power upon which we rely, that universal principle that undergirds all creation, that is as present to us as it is to all life. A power and a law so impersonal and so ubiquitous that it is available every moment, every day, in any situation. No matter who we are, no matter our past, our childhood, our family, no matter where we came from, no matter what trauma or experience we've grown out of, no matter our gender, our sexual orientation, our race, our ethnicity, the color of our hair, our age, or our abilities. This law, this power, this love, this presence is the life divine. Spirituality is natural goodness. God is not a person. God is a presence personified in us. Spirituality is not a thing. It is the atmosphere of God's presence. God's goodness, God's truth, God's beauty, God's grace, God's joy, God's love. And so let us sit this morning for a breath or 2 or 10 in the atmosphere of God's presence. And so we feel our belonging to the universe. This presence is neither earned nor deserved. It is simply here, right now. And sometimes it lifts us, and sometimes it fills us, and sometimes it pushes us, and sometimes it just loves us. Always here. And so we rely on the presence. And we learn to trust. And with the presence comes the infinite power of life itself. All the power of the universe is with you. Feel it, know it, and then act as though it were true. I'm not sure there's a better definition of faith. All the power of the universe is with you. Feel it, know it, and act as though it were true. That power, which is the source of creation itself, is present right here. Take a breath. Opening to the awareness, to the realization, to the recognition. Feeling it move. in the heart and the soul of our very being. And as our awareness takes us ever deeper into that presence, into that power, do you see? We see that it is not only everywhere present, the transcendent mystery of life itself, it is also the truth of who we are. You are an eternal being. You are an eternal being now on the pathway of endless unfoldment. Never less, but always more yourself. Life is not static. It is forever dynamic, forever creating, not something done and finished, but something alive, awake, and aware. And there is something within you that sings the song of eternity. Listen to it. Let it reverberate in your consciousness, in your heart, in your soul, in the truth of who you are. I am an eternal being. Now I am an eternal being. On the pathway of endless unfoldment. Never less, but always more myself. Take a breath. Take a breath into the eternality that is the truth of your being. That is the eternality of the one life. Indivisible. Indestructible. And so we feel ourselves called deeper, not only into the awareness of the infinite power and presence, but to its presence within our own being. As the truth of our heart and our soul, as the truth of who we are. we came here to be. And upon this truth we can rely. Nothing can change it. Nothing can take this truth away. Nothing can damage it. Nothing can break it. This is the underlying wholeness of who we are, of who each and every person is. And you were born to be happy, to be abundantly supplied with every good thing, to have fun and joy in living, to consciously unite with the divine power that is around us and within us, and to grow and expand forever. You are born to be happy. You are designed to live an abundant, joy-filled life. You are designed to be consciously united with that one infinite power and presence, that joyous mystery, which is the light at the heart of our being. Take a breath and take that in. I am designed to be happy. I am designed for joy. I am designed for abundance and well-being. I am designed for conscious union with love and life and God. And in this knowing, the heart expands, the soul unfolds, the mind opens to possibilities, and life expands. This is the place we stand. This is our place of faith. Knowing these truths. Peace comes from the absence of fear, from a consciousness of trust, from a deep underlying faith in the absolute goodness and mercy, the final integrity of the universe in which we live. Faith comes from the absence of fear, a consciousness of trust, a deep underlying realization of the absolute goodness and mercy, the final integrity of the universe in which we live. So expanding our awareness and our experience of these truths, we act and live in faith. And our sacred yes stands on the shoulders of this inner awareness and this deep knowing. And our sacred yes continues to call us deeper, deeper than we've ever been called before.
Love is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Compassion's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Peace is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. like I've never been before.
So as we take a breath, our act of faith is the answer to that call. Today, we say a sacred yes. And so it is.